Welcome to FluentFaster, the English podcast for learners. Hey Emily, how's your English learning going this week?
Hi, Michael. It's going well, actually. I've been trying some new strategies to manage my time better, and it's really helping.
Oh, that's interesting. Time management is something I really struggle with. Can you share what's working for you?
Sure. First, I start by dividing my day into focus blocks. For example, I dedicate 30 minutes in the morning to vocabulary, 30 minutes after lunch to listening, and another 30 minutes in the evening to speaking practice.
That sounds organized. But what if someone has a busy schedule with work or school?
Good question. Even 10-15 minutes of focused practice can make a difference. The key is consistency. Small daily efforts are more effective than one long session once a week.
Right. I think I often forget words because I don't review them enough. Do you have any tips for remembering vocabulary?
Absolutely. One method I love is using flashcards with spaced repetition. There are apps that remind you to review words just before you might forget them. Also, try using new words and sentences. It helps them stick.
Interesting. I also heard that speaking with someone regularly can help. How do you do that?
I practice with language partners online. Even a short 10-minute conversation daily is very effective. And don't worry about making mistakes. Speaking consistently is more important than being perfect.
That makes sense. What about listening skills? Any recommendations?
Podcasts, audiobooks, and watching TV shows in English with subtitles really help. I try to pick topics I enjoy so learning feels natural and fun.
Cool. So it's all about combining small, focused sessions and using English in real situations.
Exactly. And don't forget to track your progress. Even a simple journal noting what you learned each day can motivate you to keep going.
I like that idea. Maybe I'll start my own English learning journal tonight.
That's a great idea. Also, you can set weekly goals. For example, this week I will learn 20 new words, or I'll practice speaking for 30 minutes every day.
I see. That makes it measurable. I always forget to set small goals. I just try to do everything at once.
Yeah, that's common. Breaking tasks into smaller pieces makes learning less overwhelming and more achievable.
Do you use any tools to organize your time?
Yes, I use a simple calendar app. I block time for English practice, just like I would for a meeting. This way, I don't skip sessions and it becomes part of my daily routine.
That sounds effective. How do you deal with distractions, though?
Distractions are tricky. I usually put my phone on silent and create a cozy learning space. Even 20 minutes of focused practice without interruptions is more productive than 1 hour distracted.
I like that. Speaking of cozy spaces, do you think the environment really matters for learning?
Definitely. A comfortable and organized space helps your brain focus. Some people prefer a quiet room, others like background music. Find what works for you.
Makes sense. Can you share a typical day of English practice for you?
Sure, I wake up, have breakfast, then do 30 minutes of vocabulary using flashcards. After lunch, I listen to a 15-minute podcast while walking. In the evening, I do speaking exercises with a language partner and review any new words I learned that day.
Wow, that's structured. And do you mix in writing exercises too?
Yes, I try to write a short diary entry in English each night. Even a few sentences help improve grammar and word recall.
I should try that. I usually just read and listen, but not writing.
Writing reinforces what you learn in listening and reading. It's like connecting all the skills together.
I guess the main message is make small daily steps, mix skills, and track progress.
Exactly. And also, make it fun. Choose topics you enjoy. If you like cooking, read recipes in English. If you like sports, watch English commentary. Learning becomes natural when you enjoy it.
That's a great tip. I often feel forced to study, but maybe I just need to make it enjoyable.
Absolutely. Learning English shouldn't feel like a chore. Even small moments like thinking in English while making coffee count.
Thinking in English. That's an interesting practice. Can you give an example?
Sure. When I make breakfast, I might say in my head, I am cutting the bread. I am pouring some juice. It helps my brain practice forming sentences automatically.
That sounds doable. I think I'll start with simple sentences like that tomorrow morning.
Perfect. And remember, mistakes are part of learning. Don't be afraid to speak, write, or think in English. The more you practice, the better you get.
Emily, I've been thinking, sometimes I start practicing English, but then I get distracted or feel tired. How do you stay consistent?
I know that feeling. One trick is to tie English practice to something you already do daily. For example, I listen to English podcasts while having breakfast or commuting. That way, it becomes a habit without extra effort.
That's clever. So it's more about integrating English into your life than forcing long study sessions.
Exactly. And another tip, reward yourself for consistency. Even small rewards motivate your brain to keep going.
Like what?
It can be as simple as enjoying a favorite snack after a focused session or watching an episode of an English series you love. Positive reinforcement works wonders.
I see. Speaking of series, I sometimes watch with subtitles. Do you think that helps or hinders learning?
Subtitles are helpful, especially if you use them strategically. For instance, first watch with English subtitles to see and hear the words, then try watching without subtitles to test comprehension.
Got it. And what about grammar? I find it boring sometimes.
Grammar can be fun if you combine it with real practice. For example, instead of just doing exercises, write short stories or dialogues using new grammar structures.
That sounds creative. So learning becomes more like playing than studying.
Exactly. And don't forget speaking practice. Even speaking to yourself in front of a mirror counts. Pretend you're explaining a recipe, a story, or even your day in English.
I always thought that was weird, but now I see it's useful.
Totally. Also, let's talk about motivation. Sometimes people lose motivation because progress seems slow. How do you stay motivated?
I guess seeing small improvements helps. For example, remembering a word I forgot last week feels like a victory.
Yes, celebrate small wins. Another trick is to connect learning English to your life goals. For instance, if you want to travel, imagine ordering food or asking for directions in English. It makes learning meaningful.
True. I want to use English to talk to international friends. That's my big motivation.
Perfect. Motivation comes naturally when your learning has a real purpose.
So far, we've talked about daily routines, listening, speaking, writing, and motivation. What about planning long-term?
Planning long-term is key. I like to set a 3-month goal, for example. I want to learn 300 new words in 3 months. Then I break it into weekly goals like learn 25 new words this week.
That's manageable. It makes big goals feel achievable.
Exactly. And don't forget to review old material regularly. Spaced repetition is essential.
Can you explain spaced repetition again?
Sure. It's a method where you review material at increasing intervals. For example, learn a new word today, review it tomorrow, then in 3 days, then in a week, then in 2 weeks. It strengthens memory efficiently.
That seems very practical. I'll start using it with flashcards.
Great. Also, don't be afraid to mix methods. Flashcards, reading, listening, speaking, combine them. Different approaches reinforce each other.
Makes sense. Let's talk about wasting time habits. I waste so much time on my phone sometimes. How do you avoid that?
Set boundaries. For example, no social media during English practice. You can also use apps that block distractions temporarily.
That's smart. I think I need a phone-free zone for studying.
Exactly. And remember, short, focused sessions are better than long, distracted ones. Even 20 minutes of deep practice beats an hour of half attention.
Okay, so quality over quantity. Got it.
Right. Now here's a fun exercise. Try summarizing what you learned today in English in 3 sentences.
Okay. I learned that small, consistent practice is better than long sessions. I should use spaced repetition for vocabulary, and integrating English into daily life makes learning fun.
Perfect! That's exactly how to reinforce learning.
Let's do another one. Can we talk about speaking confidently? I feel shy sometimes.
Absolutely. Confidence comes with practice. One tip, record yourself speaking, then listen and correct mistakes. Over time, you'll notice improvement, which boosts confidence. I like that idea. I never record myself before. Also, don't worry about perfection. Speak freely, even if there are mistakes. Communication is more important than perfect grammar.
That's reassuring. Sometimes I overthink and freeze.
Happens to everyone. Try thinking in English during daily tasks. It reduces hesitation when speaking with others.
Okay. I'll try describing my actions in English throughout the day.
Great! And another tip, practice common phrases and expressions. Knowing them by heart helps conversations flow naturally.
Can you give an example?
Sure, phrases like, "How's it going?" or "I'm not sure, but I think," are super useful in everyday conversation.
Makes sense. I'll make a list of these phrases.
Excellent! And here's a fun challenge. Try using one new phrase each day with someone.
I like challenges. It makes learning interactive.
Exactly. Interaction is key. English isn't just for studying. It's for connecting with people.
That's inspiring. I'll remember that.
Now let's talk about reading. Reading in English improves vocabulary and comprehension. But start with simple texts like blogs, news for learners, or short stories.
Yeah, I sometimes start with hard books and get frustrated.
That's common. Gradual difficulty is better. And don't translate everything. Try to understand from context.
Okay. Guessing from context helps learning naturally.
Exactly. And for writing, try emails, social media posts, or even captions in English. Real-life practice is always effective.
Emily, we've talked about reading and writing, but sometimes I feel overwhelmed with so many learning materials. How do you choose what to focus on?
That's a common problem. I prioritize based on my goals. For example, if I want to improve speaking, I focus on listening and speaking exercises more than grammar books.
Makes sense. So it's goal-driven learning.
Exactly. And sometimes rotating skills helps. For example, one week focus on vocabulary, next week on listening, then on writing. Keeps learning fresh.
Speaking of fresh, can we do a small exercise now? Maybe a vocabulary game?
Sure. Let's pick a topic, like travel. We'll take turns naming things related to it in English.
Okay. Airport,
Passport,
ticket,
luggage,
customs.
flight attendant.
This is fun. Doing games like this helps remember words faster.
Exactly. Also, try to make your own sentences with new words. For example, I lost my luggage at the airport.
That's a good idea. It makes the word stick in memory.
Right. And for pronunciation, reading out loud and recording yourself is extremely useful. You can compare your pronunciation to native speakers.
I've tried reading aloud, but sometimes I feel silly.
Don't worry. Everyone feels silly at first. It's part of learning. And the more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
True. Confidence grows with repeated practice.
Exactly. Now, let's share a motivational story. When I started learning English, I could barely introduce myself, but I set small goals. 1 word per day, 1 short sentence per week. After a year, I was holding full conversations.
Wow, that's inspiring. Small steps really add up.
Yes, progress is like compound interest. Little daily improvements lead to big results over time.
I like that analogy. It makes learning feel rewarding.
Let's also talk about listening. I suggest listening to English music, podcasts, or audiobooks while commuting or exercising. Your brain absorbs naturally.
But sometimes I don't understand much.
That's okay. Focus on keywords and main ideas first. Don't worry about understanding everything. Gradually, your comprehension will improve.
Makes sense. Focus on understanding the meaning, not every word.
Exactly. And try shadowing. Repeat what you hear immediately after the speaker. It improves pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency.
Shadowing. Okay, I'll try that. Sounds fun.
Another useful tip, keep a notebook for phrases and expressions you hear. Then practice them in sentences later.
Like a personal phrase book. That's very practical.
Yes, and review it regularly. Spaced repetition works here too.
So repetition is key everywhere? Vocabulary, phrases, grammar?
Right. Now let's do another practical exercise. Imagine you meet a new person. How would you introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi, my name is Michael. I'm learning English. I enjoy traveling and reading books. Nice to meet you.
Perfect. Now try responding if the other person asks, "Where are you from?"
I'm from New York. How about you?
Excellent! Practicing these dialogues helps in real-life conversations.
I like that. Can we do a few more scenarios?
Of course. Imagine ordering a coffee at a cafe.
Hi, I'd like a cappuccino, please. Can I get it with oat milk?
Great. Now add a follow-up question.
How much is it?
Perfect! These small interactions build confidence.
Speaking of confidence, what about mistakes? I often hesitate because I'm afraid to make them.
Mistakes are normal. Every mistake is a learning opportunity. Even native speakers make them. The key is to keep speaking and correct yourself gradually.
Okay, I'll focus on progress, not perfection.
That's the right mindset. Also, set mini challenges. For example, talk to one person in English every day.
That sounds motivating. Small, achievable steps.
Exactly. And let's talk about reading habits. I start with easy articles, then write a short summary in my own words.
That's a great idea. Writing summaries helps remember what you read.
Right. And try sharing summaries with a friend or online. Interaction reinforces learning.
I'll do that. Now, can we discuss time management specifically for English learning?
Absolutely. First, schedule fixed time blocks. For example, 30 minutes in the morning for listening, 30 minutes at night for writing or reviewing vocabulary.
And what about weekends?
Weekends can be more flexible. Try activities like watching movies, reading stories, or having a conversation in English.
That makes it fun, not just studying.
Exactly. And also, track your progress. Check which skills improve and which need more attention.
Good idea. Seeing improvement keeps motivation high.
Yes, and don't forget to rest. Overloading yourself leads to burnout. Short focus sessions are more effective than marathon study sessions.
Quality over quantity again.
Right. Now let's do a quick listening exercise. I'll say a sentence and you repeat it.
Okay.
Learning English is easier when you make it part of your daily life.
Learning English is easier when you make it part of your daily life.
Perfect. Another. Mistakes are opportunities, not failures.
Mistakes are opportunities, not failures.
Excellent. Repeating phrases like this improves pronunciation and memory.
I feel more confident already.
That's the magic of practice. Now, one last tip for today. Immerse yourself in English culture, music, movies, news. It makes learning natural and enjoyable.
I'll start doing that. It's like learning without thinking it's study.
Exactly. And remember, consistency, interaction, and positive mindset are your keys.
Thanks, Emily. I feel ready to make English part of my daily life.
You're welcome, Michael. Keep practicing, stay curious, and enjoy the journey.
See you next time.
Bye!